Greetings and happy Thursday. Happy Throwback Thursday to one and to all. We are back. We are back at the courthouse in Greenbelt, Maryland. They're about to break for the day. There was no decision made. I was in there all day except for these last few minutes, so we're waiting on the press conference. But I will say that the witness for the government was grilled like an armor, or is it ballpark Frank? A lot of the questions he could not give a definitive answer. He came in with this grandiose, I would say, background, 24 years of service, but the basic questions asked from the plaintiffs and Judge Xinnas, he could not answer, or he would have to get back to them, which I thought was quite embarrassing for the government. He definitely was not prepared. Actually, he basically said that he skimmed over emails. Now, any of you in the legal realm knows that skimming over emails is not proper preparation to testify in a case, especially a case such as this. So I believe that, again, it's just my opinion, that they selected the wrong individual to be a witness. And I'm not going to discredit his experience, but for today's proceedings, before the testimony that he gave, they clearly should have selected someone else. Again, he was told earlier this week, according to him, at 7:47 a.m. Pacific time, he was on the West Coast. He would be called in to testify. Another key point that came out was they kept mentioning Mexico as a country, an area, a holding place, if you will, as well as South Sudan, to be cleared by the State Department, where aliens, and they use that term a lot today, would not be persecuted or tortured. However, when it came to answer the questions, well, what assurance do we have? Is there any documents? The witness continued to say, well, from my understanding and from what I read. So again, though anybody in the legal realm, you can't go by what you've heard or your understanding. You should be able to present concrete evidence. You should be able to present those documents. And that was a large issue. It came up several times during the proceedings today. When and if Mr. Garcia is released, where is he going to go? What procedures are in place? And I think that's where the plaintiffs were trying to go with that. So from my understanding and listening attentively, as of, I'll just say, the latter part of March, there is nothing really in place. Is it a stall tactic? I cannot say that. But again, I was very disappointed in the government's presentation, and today was just an evidentiary hearing, and the judge did say she was not able to obtain or get the information that she was actually seeking. So I thought they were going to come out a little bit earlier, but someone just said that they're waiting a little bit because they're trying to decide if they're going to come back tomorrow morning or wait. But she did mention that she would like to see a pause on anything as it relates to any type of deportation immediately. There were questions as it relates to due process once the person is told, meaning the alien is told that they're going to be deported. What type of assurance will they have? There was something that also came up. Well, if they expressed fear of going to this third country, what happens and what's the time frame? Again, there was hesitation in those answers. So a lot of unanswered questions, which a lot of people, I believe, depending upon, I'm not going to say side, but depending upon where you are, it was just, to me, the government did not do a, they didn't do their due diligence. And as I said, their witness clearly, and again, these are just my opinions, but the witness who is the I believe that's his title. If I'm wrong, then I'll have to provide the right title. But he's like the third one in line as far as the deportation office and removal. He just didn't have a lot of answers, and prior to his current position, he did say under oath that he had very little experience. So again, in my opinion, they really should have selected someone else as a witness. And I don't know, maybe it was done purposely, who knows at this point. So right now we're just waiting for the press conference. But I did learn quite a bit today, and it should be interesting and to see what actually happens. July 16th is the date. That came up a lot, but again, we should see. He's in Tennessee right now, and we also learned that the field office for that particular detention center is in New Orleans, which encompasses, I believe, 5 states. I can't remember them off of the top of my head, so we'll have to see. But thank you to those that are coming in, and again, I'm waiting for the press conference. Live again at the courthouse in Greenbelt, Maryland, covering the Kilmar GARCIA case. Kilmar GARCIA, again, is the resident of Maryland who was deported to El Salvador, and the government stated that it was due to an administrative error. Then there have been allegations of criminal activity as well. So there are a lot of moving parts to this. So again, thank you for your patience, and stand by for the press conference. That should be shortly. You can see the poster that was out there earlier. And I think some people have some flags up. Let me take an image of that. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Hey there, Sanjay. How are you? Again, we are live at courthouse in Greenbelt, Maryland, covering the Kilmar GARCIA case. And this is going to be, as I said, a precedent as it relates to immigration moving forward.
Excuse me, man. Is this your key?
Thank you. I wasn't going to go too far. Thank you, though, sir. Thank you. So you can see the flag there. And I anticipate the others that are remaining will be coming down shortly. But again, very interesting proceedings today. How are you, Sanjay?
Yeah, I know, but I mean, if you go across.
But again, the two places that kept coming up today's proceedings, Mexico and South Sudan. And I think what they were trying to determine was if they have the assurance from the State Department, if these places are safe for those that will be deported. Because just because you say it's safe, there really should be something in writing, a policy and procedures.
My mother's entire family.
They're waiting for the attorneys to come out to speak about the proceedings today. There were protests earlier, but I did not see those because I was in the courtroom all day. And of course, cameras are not allowed in the courtroom. Yes, Sanjay. So again, Kilmar GARCIA, a citizen of El Salvador, living in Maryland, was deported. And there's been a fight backwards and forth to see what's going to happen with him. Is he going to be deported back? Another thing that was said in the courtroom was there wasn't any, excuse me, I didn't want to get everyone here. There wasn't any guarantee or they could not, which the judge was getting a little bit irritated, definitively say that El Salvador was a safe place and where he would not be persecuted or tortured. And that's what they were trying to get out of the government. And again, there was a lot of, again, my opinion, cat and mouse when it came to that. But Mexico was mentioned many times. So we shall see what happens. And it's a very important case and how it's going to affect immigration moving forward. There's the cameras. There's some more over there. Actually, it turned out to be a beautiful day, so we see the American flag and the Maryland flag flying high above. Yes, Sanjay. Yes, you're absolutely right. It's a new policy. So you have to keep in mind that, and that's another thing, the witness indicated that people who are subject to deportation when they're stopped, they don't need a warrant. The officers do not need a warrant. So I'm just going to let you all look at this beautiful sky for now. But this was a very, very long day. It was pretty close to 5 when I walked out, but I'm not sure what time it is now. It's probably pretty close to 6 o'clock, which is very, a very long day. And I'm sure it was not easy for the witness, but that's why it's very important to be prepared. And personally, I do not think that for this he was, at least not properly and thoroughly, for the line of questioning that he went through. So they're just trying to ensure that due process is met, and most importantly, that there will be no persecution or torture. So that's where we are. Just you all look at the blue skies again, and keep in mind it rained quite heavily last evening.
North, south.
It was 30 minutes to see if he could get his higher ups to agree to that. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, well, I think it's gonna have to go all the way to the White House.
Yeah, but that doesn't, he's probably out of one.
They'll find it, don't worry, because he's the one who said he's got money, and so did Bob. He's not gonna ever say, we let free things, you know. So if that's their position. No, but everyone.
Well, and the guy who was testifying, he Washington here. I mean, that's what, and he was just saying, oh, yes, this is what happens. GS7, back on here, files, right, whereas, no, this is decided as the White House, and then,
He kept acting.
So you hear, I don't know, a few conversations basically of same thing that I stated earlier, differently but the same. And I believe people might be coming out. There was one gentleman that was in there earlier.
it's like you knew the regulations pretty well.
Yes, and we have. Oh, so it's going to be 9 o'clock tomorrow. At least that's what I believe I heard from a distance. We shall see. And again, today was a evidentiary hearing. I don't even know what's going to be a press conference. It should be, but hold tight.
Hey, it's Fitz. Hey, they're coming back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Is Jack there? Okay. So
That's what they're saying,
they're still not
Sanjay.
out. I mean, we've moved to a different station away from the podium. So I'm ready to pull that 4 o'clock time. It's insane to do.
But yes, very
I was
interesting.
gonna say it off. Yeah, that's why I wanted to say it. Yeah.
It's a young lady that did the mic check before.
I think the anchor intro can stay. I mean, that's my latest nugget. I would like to be able to say it.
And again, thank you to those that have given a thumbs up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And those who may catch the replay. Very, very, very important case. On so many levels.
Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Thank you all, everyone. I know this has been a really long day. We appreciate everybody.
Hey, my channel. How are you, my beautiful?
We're just going to take 2, which hopefully will also give all of you time to get out from being in the media room and get set up and situated. So 2 minutes, and we'll start the post-hearing press brief. Thank you.
Okay, you heard the young lady. In approximately 2 minutes, we shall hear statements from the attorneys from the hearing today on the Kilmar GARCIA case. How are you doing, mine? On this beautiful Thursday, it's actually very warm. Move down a bit. How are you? Thank you for those who have given a thumbs up. And again, for those coming in, I'm live at the United States Courthouse in Greenbelt, Maryland. Here's some more signs you see up. And they're saying, stop deporting our neighbors. And there's the flag again. Okay, those were the DOJ lawyers that they're yelling at. Okay, and that's the attorney that I had the opportunity to meet and speak with earlier this week. He's about to come to the podium.
Mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Over here. Yeah, I'll do it.
Again, this is going on live.
Okay.
Greenbelt,
Good
Maryland.
afternoon, everyone. We know that it has been a very long afternoon, right?
Yes.
We've been here for almost 5 hours, so we're going to keep it short. I'm sure you all heard we have to be back again tomorrow morning. So again, keeping it short and sweet. I'm Frimpong. I'm the legal director at CASA. And once again, really want to thank everyone who showed up today and who will be showing up tomorrow morning. I want to, I'm not speaking for myself today. I wanted to share a short note that Jennifer, Kilmar's wife, sent to me to share with you all. This is what she says. I want to start by saying thank you to everyone for the immense support here today, and also for everyone who has supported us from day one in this fight. Our family is extremely grateful for all that you do for us. This support is amazing, and we will forever be thankful to each and everyone supporting us as we continue with our faith high until Kilmar returns home to his children. Love, Jennifer. And with that, I want to turn it over to one of our amazing attorneys who has been fighting this incredible battle in the courtroom over the last few months. Simon Sandoval Motionberg, I'm sure you all know him. Simon is going to give us a brief summary of what happened today and let us know what to expect tomorrow morning and beyond. He will offer comments in Spanish and English, and he will take a couple of questions. Again, it's really late, so just a couple of questions. But Simon, please come on up. Thank you.
Hi, thanks. Thank you. I'm Simon Sandoval Motionberg. I'm a partner at the law firm Murray Osorio in Fairfax, Virginia. Today, one of my co-counsels, Sasha Rand, who's a partner at the law firm Quinn Emanuel in New York City, took the testimony of Thomas Giles, who's the third in command at ICE right now. Mr. Giles stated that no decisions have been made from ICE as to what they're going to do with Kilmar GARCIA. And that they won't make those decisions unless and until Mr. GARCIA is released from criminal custody into ICE custody. He stated that this case is being treated just like any other case of the, several millions of cases that ICE runs at any given time. I personally didn't find that very credible, but that was his testimony under oath. They haven't decided where they're going to detain Mr. GARCIA. They haven't decided where they're going to send Mr. GARCIA. They know they're going to send him somewhere, but they haven't decided where to send him. Two of the countries that were mentioned were Mexico and South Sudan as possibilities for where Mr. Abrego might be sent. But at this point, according to the testimony, he stated that no decisions have been made and that they're not even going to start working on taking those decisions until he's in ICE custody. Mr. Giles clarified that when ICE deports someone to a third country now, they can give them as little as a few hours worth of notice as to which country they're sending someone to. And again, this is not just for Mr. GARCIA. This is for the thousands upon thousands of people from Maryland and from every state across the country who won their cases for withholding of removal many, many years ago, just like Mr. GARCIA, and are now being arrested by surprise, supposedly for third country removal. The government's contention is that as long as they tell the person what country they're being sent to, on a same-day basis of putting them on a plane, and then the person must immediately request a credible fear interview at the moment in time that they're served with that paper. That's the only process that's due. Tomorrow morning, Judge Xinnas brought us back to her courtroom at 9 a.m. She's going to hear argument as to whether that process is sufficient. We're going to argue that it isn't. We're going to argue that Mr. GARCIA has the right to meaningful notice and meaningful opportunity to be heard by an immigration judge prior to being put on any plane. Just like he received in 2019, he received notice and an opportunity to be heard, to be granted withholding of removal as to El Salvador. He's entitled to that as to any other country that they would like to send him to. That's what we're going to be arguing for, and I expect the judge made very clear that she will issue a ruling before Wednesday, which is the next scheduled hearing in the criminal matter in Tennessee. That's why she's bringing us back tomorrow morning, so that she can get that ruling out in time prior to Wednesday, when there's a very good possibility that the district judge in Tennessee may well order him released from criminal custody, at which point he would be taken into ICE custody. So the concern is that ICE has a plane, gassed up and waiting on the tarmac, and that's why we're here in court, to make sure that they are not able to do what they did last time. Last time they put Kilmar GARCIA on a plane, he didn't know where that plane was going to until it landed at the airport in El Salvador. That's more or less what they want to do again, and that's what we're here to stop. And we have every confidence that the judge will rule prior to Wednesday.
La última vez que Kilmar García estuvo en un avión, no supo a dónde iba a estar el avión hasta que el avión se aterrizó en El Salvador. Eso es lo que el gobierno quiere volver a hacer y eso es lo que estamos aquí para no permitir que hagan. El testigo, que es el alto funcionario de ICE, testificó bajo juramento que la política de ellos en cuanto a esas deportaciones al tercer país es dar a la persona notificación y puede ser hasta el mismo día que deporten a uno. Nosotros no creemos que esto es el debido proceso. La última vez Kilmar tuvo en 2019, cuando Kilmar tuvo la audiencia de suspensión de deportación a El Salvador, él tuvo una audiencia completa ante un juez de inmigración y si ellos quieren mandarlo a otro país, él debería tener derecho a otra audiencia frente a un juez de inmigración. Estamos pidiendo a la jueza que ordene que no lo deporten sin que esto pueda suceder, que puede haber una audiencia ante un juez de inmigración referente a cualquier país. Nombraron 2 países como posibilidades, nombraron a México y el sur de Sudán, pero dijeron que esa decisión ni siquiera se ha tomado, que esos solo son países que están en la mesa como posibles. Dijeron que no saben dónde lo van a detener, dónde lo van a mandar. Personalmente no lo encontré creíble, pero eso fue su testimonio bajo juramento. Y mañana volveremos a las 9 de la mañana y la jueza escuchará argumento legal y decidirá, si no mañana, definitivamente antes del miércoles de la oficina.
Is Judge still looking at the 48-hour clause when she was talking about?
The judge suggested that we could avoid having a hearing tomorrow if the government would agree to a 48-hour hold on Mr. Garcia, essentially 48 hours after he hits ICE custody to not deport him. The government would not agree to that. I think it's very telling that they wouldn't even agree to just 2 days breathing. It shows that their intention is to move out of as quickly as possible.
Simon, at what point Giles says that I can take into consideration that Kilmar
No, I think
he'll
it's-
keep him in the continental United States.
No, I think they've been very clear that their intention is to deport him, notwithstanding the fact that he has a trial date, or that he soon will have a trial date. I think they were very clear about that. I think they're about that all along. The question is he going to have the right to review before immigration? I mean, they can deport someone with pending criminal charges, right? That's clear. They have the power to do that. And the reason that we're asking to slow this train down is actually not because of the criminal charges. It's because he hasn't had the opportunity to be put in front of an immigration judge without any particular right? I mean, they said 2 possible countries today. So there's 190 countries on this earth. They haven't ruled any of them out except for one, El Salvador. They need to give him lawyers written notice of which country it is, and then not support him unless and until an immigration judge is cleaning up the phone.
So you have
sobre otra comunicación que se reveló donde dice que el alto funcionario del Departamento de Seguridad Nacional decía que en algún momento había que decir, perdón la palabra, un poco a las órdenes cuando se iba a deportar a los migrantes.
Sí, realmente desde el primer momento de este caso, el gobierno ha decidido convertir este caso en un caso de máxima naturaleza. Hasta el presidente, la Casa Blanca, la fiscal general de la República, la secretaria de Justicia, o sea, un montón de recursos que han invertido en este caso, a saber por qué, pero esa es la decisión que tomaron y eso es lo que han estado haciendo. Entonces, por eso es tan poco creíble cuando hoy el oficial Giles en su testimonio en esta corte dijo, oh no, no hemos decidido nada, no hemos decidido dónde lo vamos a detener, no hemos decidido a dónde lo vamos a mandar. O sea, ¿cómo esto puede ser cierto si han tomado tantos recursos hasta la fecha en este caso, que siempre desde el principio debía haber sido un caso de defensivo? Cometieron un error, tenían que arreglar el error, ya no estaríamos aquí.
Simon, just to be clear, the judge said she's inclined to issue a temporary restraining order, and that was before they said, no, let's come back tomorrow morning. Could she still do that? Could she still try to insist that they give 48 hours breathing room, if and, when, he's released from criminal custody.
I mean, it's well after 5 o'clock. The government would not agree to a 48-hour pause on the deportation of Kilmar GARCIA, right? And so since they wouldn't agree to it, she's got to let both sides, say everything they have to say. And that's what we're going to have a hearing tomorrow morning regarding, essentially, what are going to be the next steps in the case, what is going to be the order that the judge enters.
What do you think, or hope that her order will actually set? It's not a
We hope that she'll issue an order prohibiting the government from removing Mr. GARCIA to any country unless 2 things have happened. 1, he's had written notice of what that country is, and 2, he's had adequate time to apply for and get a hearing on an application for protection under withholding removal as to whatever that country may be. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you
ladies
so
and
much,
gentlemen.
everyone. Have a wonderful evening, and we
You
will
as well.
see you tomorrow morning.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Is anyone driving near Bethesda? Is the question.
I'm driving, but I'm not going to Bethesda.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
need to make a phone call, but I think I'm going to.
The lawyers are still in.
Live from United States Courthouse, Greenbelt, Maryland, covering the Kilmar GARCIA case. Thank you for tuning in. Everyone be well.